Right now at 6, the mayor of Junction hosted Tuesday night's council meeting despite the council's vote to suspend him.
And here comes the sun, here comes the heat as temperatures crank up into the afternoon. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a historic Pittsburgh building gets a new life thanks to some gorillas.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News at 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Thursday. It's June the 19th, and we have got the first day of summer officially tomorrow.
Yes.
It officially starts late, like 9:42, if I'm remembering the time correctly, which is unusual. Sometimes it starts earlier than that, but it also is the longest day of the year, and temperatures climbing tomorrow.
Yes.
Certainly going to make it feel like the longest day of the year. We are going to start heating up today, but not nearly as hot and muggy as it's going to be into the weekend.
Okay.
Let's start with that look outside downtown Pittsburgh. There it is. And you can see the Best Hotel right there, and you can see the work going on outside of the building. So we've got a great view of the work that's going to take place there, at least from the outside. Here comes the sunshine as well. That sun is going to be bringing us some nice toasty temperatures today. Quick look, MoDOT camera, 20th and Range line, eerily deserted right now, but in the next hour or so, obviously, we'll see traffic really start to pick up out there, and that is how it's going to be. But just make sure you got the AC ready to go. Take a look, though. We also have this patchy dense fog right about here and points southwest. So Bentonville, Grove, Miami, Veneta, Newada, Independence, Parsons, even Fredonia, dealing with some reduced visibilities. Now around the Grove areas is parts of 69, of course, a good portion of Delaware County around Grand Lake, zero visibility. Bentonville just over half a mile, Anderson under 2, Parsons under 2, Independence just about half a mile visibility, Newada, Veneta also under 2 miles visibility. So if you are traveling in the western portions of our area, just make sure low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights, if you got them, slow down. Give yourself time to get where you're going. On to the future track, though. Nothing to show you. We've got a light and variable breeze out there today, or otherwise calm winds, a few passing clouds. That's it. Outside of that, it's just going to get hot. Temperatures this morning, pretty mild, mid-60s, 65 Joplin and Pittsburgh. Across the region, we're a little warmer to the south. We've got Bentonville, Cassville, both sitting at 70, a little cooler to the northwest. We got low to mid-60s, and we've got mid and upper 60s for most of the area. Highs today reaching into the upper 80s, couple of low 90s certainly possible. Few clouds into the afternoon, and then by the late evening hours, we begin to clear out. Temperatures even hotter as we head into Friday and Saturday. We'll have details on that for you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll check in with you soon, Chris. Thanks. Well, if you visit downtown Pittsburgh, you'll see construction underway at the site of the historic Best Hotel. Now, in recent years, the building has become run down, but construction crews, including interns from Pittsburgh State University, are working to give the landmark new life. KOAM's Samantha Walker gives us a look inside the Best Hotel and shares details on its future.
The Best Hotel is a historic Pittsburgh landmark, but if you were to walk through it right now, you need to be wearing one of these.
Right now we're standing in the southeast corner of the Best Hotel, building that's almost 100 years old. From what we've seen, this building wasn't probably 10 to 15 years from having some major structural issues before we started rehabbing it.
For the past 2 months, crews with Crossland Construction have been working at repairing the Best Hotel. It's part of the Gorilla Rising project by Pittsburgh State University. Floors 2 through 13 at the Best will be turned into student housing, with 57 apartments and 62 beds. The lower level will offer a commercial space as well as the PSU Center for Reading and the Kansas Small Business Development Center.
We're framing walls for the apartments on 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Just a little bit happening on 6th. We're roughing in electric, plumbing, getting all the utilities into the spaces.
And working alongside the Crossland crew are PSU construction interns. As a former PSU Crossland intern himself, Dylan Halterman knows the importance of getting hands-on experience.
This job, you're getting exposed to a little bit of everything, and I think that's beneficial not only to me in growing in my career, but interns as well as they grow and become field engineers and project engineers.
And as Halterman helps guide new interns, he takes pride that at the same time, he gets to work on such a historic building.
When we just started this job, I got to be on it, and it's been a real honor to be on this and do something for Pittsburgh that they've done for me for 4 years. It's nice to just give a little something back.
And for PSU interns working on the project, it's a full circle moment, knowing their work will help students just like them.
I've told all my friends, there's like, hey, we're turning into student housing. And they're like, well, what's it called? I'll just say Gorilla Rising. And they'll be like, oh, I'll have to move in there one day. So I'd talk it up a lot to all my friends.
And it'll be a lasting reminder of their hard work. This
is the first building you see whenever you walk or whenever you drive into Pittsburgh. And it's going to be really cool being able to drive through it in the future and being able to point at the biggest building in Pittsburgh saying, hey, I helped remodel that to my kids.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Construction at the Best Hotel is expected to be completed by August 2026. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. One juvenile is dead, and authorities are still searching for another after a train pedestrian accident yesterday afternoon in Neosho County, Kansas. It happened at the Trestle Railroad Bridge over the Neosho River south of Erie, Kansas. Sheriff Greg Taylor says 2 juveniles were walking along the bridge when they were hit by a train. Authorities have recovered 1 body, and at last report, they were still searching for the second juvenile. State officials have been helping with the ground and air search. The sheriff says the Neosho River is high, making conditions harder to deal with. He asked the public to steer clear of the area. The sheriff says the families have been notified and law officers' hearts go out to them. Well, in a turn of events, Junction Mayor Mike Moss was back in the chair at Tuesday night's City Council meeting just days after the council voted to suspend him. Now, the discussion to suspend Mayor Moss started during the May 20th City Council meeting. Council members James Shanks had filed a complaint alleging Mayor Moss made inappropriate comments about female city employees. The council unanimously agreed to hire Lauber Municipal Law to investigate the complaint. Now, during the June 3rd meeting, council members voted 6-2 to suspend the mayor. However, 2 days later, Moss was back at work in the mayor's office. City Administrator Steve Lauber confirmed the motion to suspend Moss was unlawful under city code. Both the city attorney and outside legal counsel supported Lauber's decision. And now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. The player is also available on our news and weather apps as well as our website. Watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free. The KOAM Plus TV streaming app. Well, community members of all ages gathered in Carthage, Missouri yesterday to celebrate Precious Moments Chapel Day. KOAM's Olivia Moss dives into what made this celebration so special.
You want to know what it means or what it's about, you just let me know and I'll tell you, okay?
For the Precious Moments Chapel in Carthage, Missouri, June 18th is not just another day.
Thank you guys for coming.
It's a day to celebrate the anniversary of the chapel's opening and dedication in 1989.
It's a very exciting day to be able to just continue that and enjoy everyone coming out and still knowing after 36 years that we're here and people are able to enjoy us.
The celebration was full of activities, including face painting, a passport adventure scavenger hunt, and something new.
In between the tours that we normally do to explain about the chapel, we're going to do a story time where we're going to read some Precious Moments storybooks that were written by Mr. Butcher to the children that come to visit, because we always like to do special things for them.
Precious Moments Chapel Day was officially recognized by the governor of Missouri in 2009. For 36 years, they have been welcoming people of all ages to enjoy everything, from the chapel to the figures.
It's really great that it's still here in the community, that they're having more and more events every year. It's nice to see it pick up again and have the people come out, and it's pretty cool to live by something so special.
Precious Moments really means those special times of your life that you just want to hold on to and capture. And that's what Mr. Butcher wanted. He wanted to capture those moments of love and caring and sharing in our lives that we never want to forget, but we will always want to hold on to.
Those moments captured today. Reporting in Carthage, I'm Olivia Moss, KOAM News.
Well, thank you guys for coming.
Well, Precious Moments holds several events throughout the year, including their family reunion event starting October 8th. For a complete schedule of events, you can visit our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. In Minnesota, local authorities investigate a break-in at the home of the gunned-down lawmaker. Plus, an Arkansas inmate enters his plea after eluding police for nearly 2 weeks after escaping. And Chris returns with another look at your Thursday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. A nation watch, higher global temperatures could crush food crops worldwide over the next few years. Researchers say the overall food system could fall 50% by the end of the century, according to an 8-year study published in the journal Nature. Now, scientists studied 6 crops, including maize, rice, and wheat. Now, they found that for every 1 degree Celsius the world warms above pre-industrial levels, global food production drops by roughly 120 calories per person daily. They say that will eventually cause food prices to rise and make access to getting food more difficult. Researchers say global warming will greatly affect the U.S. in particular, where crop yields for most crops, aside from rice, are expected to be reduced by at least 40%. Well, the home where a Minnesota lawmaker and her husband were gunned down Saturday was broken into overnight Wednesday. Brooklyn Park Police say the home was boarded up early Sunday after investigators processed evidence at the scene, but that didn't stop someone from breaking in. Esme Murphy spoke to neighbors about the incident.
The crime scene tape is still up from Saturday morning's murders. Now police are investigating another crime here, a break-in through a back window. The window broken, the police plywood pulled off.
Whoever it was that broke in has no respect for the deceased couple that lived here.
Longtime neighbor Jeff Olenek is beside himself.
It's a horrible deal that people would come now and desecrate their memory by breaking into the house.
Other neighbors just can't believe it.
It's horrible. I think it's really horrible. It's hard to put words to it.
Christine Cole Finch says she and her dog Libby would join Hortman and her dog Gilbert on neighborhood walks. Gilbert was also shot in the attack and had to be put down by the Hortman's children.
Even days later, we're still struggling with it.
Some say the break-in feels as if the Hortmans are being attacked again.
Very disturbing to know that someone would want to break into a house after a tragedy like this.
Brooklyn Park Police released a statement saying after the break-in, they brought the Hortman family into this home to see if they could recognize if anything had been taken. The Hortmans reported to police that they didn't see that anything had been removed.
As the investigation continues, neighbors have already started taking care of the Hortmans' yard and gardens.
Melissa was really taking care of her gardens whenever she wasn't doing her legislative work.
And they are also tending the growing memorial in the Hortmans' front yard.
Police are still searching for the suspect in the break-in. And still to come, an Alabama mother and daughter make history in the skies. Plus, Chris returns with another full look at your Thursday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, an Alabama mother and daughter are making history flying in the 2025 Air Race Classic. The aviation competition draws female pilots from across the nation, continuing the legacy that began in 1929 with the Women's Air Derby. Ashlyn Mitchell takes us to the skies.
And they're off. 40 teams and over 90 women pilots from around the nation are soaring across 2,400 miles of landscape, full of strategy, skill, and sisterhood.
I love being able to, contribute to something bigger than myself and pave the way for other women and girls.
It's the 48th annual Air Race Classic, the USA's only women aviation contest.
Amelia Earhart was originally one of the founders 48 years ago, and each year they have a different race route.
Racers were set to take off from Fairhope, but a weather delay moved the start to Harrison, Arkansas. Each team has at least 2 women. Many of the pilots are students, teachers, doctors, and business owners. Some even family members, like Fairhope's own Misty Dias and her daughter Ivy Steiner.
We definitely act as mother and daughter in the plane, but overall, we're 2 pilots flying together.
Their team name:
Poison Ivy. My name's Ivy. And I took it upon myself to name the team.
The race isn't just about speed, it's about teamwork. A handicapped speed system is in place, ensuring every team has an equal shot at winning regardless of the aircraft's momentum. Their biggest competition is themselves.
We could still win the race because we're timed by our handicap.
It's been months of practice and preparation for Poison Ivy. It's a true test of skill as they battle the elements.
This will be challenging, and we're looking forward to that.
You know, you guys mentioned before just breaking barriers and showing other women that they can do hard things. You know, what message would you have for mothers, daughters, older women, younger women?
You're never too young or too old to start. I mean, you only have to be 17 to get your pilot's license and 16 to have your first solo flight.
The race will end tomorrow in Spokane, Washington. A big good luck and congratulations to those 2. Let's head over now to Chris for a quick look at the forecast.
Yeah, we've got a beautiful start to the day out there. We do have some patchy, dense fog, though. And we're going to cover the fog, and we're going to talk about the heat that's on the way and some potentially dangerous heat that's on the way when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News just after 6:24 now. On this Thursday morning, we are starting with the fog tracker because while we do have a pretty nice day ahead of us, we do have some very dense fog out there. Grove, Bentonville, Independence, all under 1 mile of visibility. Anderson, just under 1.5 miles, and we have reduced visibilities tracking back through northeastern Oklahoma and then up into southeast Kansas. So Montgomery, Labette counties, Washington, Craig, Nowata County, Delaware County, parts of Ottawa County, McDonald County, Benton County. So again, you folks know the drill, okay? Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. Slow down. Give yourself time to get where you're going. The other thing you want to watch out for is the patchy nature of some of this fog where, again, you may be driving for a few miles at highway speed. Things are great, and then visibility suddenly drops. So just make sure you're playing it safe out there this morning. Then you're going to want to play it safe with the heat, especially into the first official weekend of summer because tomorrow is the official start of summer. As for today, though, it's going to really start to feel like it again. Temperatures is what we're focusing on because at least over the next few days into the weekend, don't have any weather concerns at this point. No clouds. We have a few of them today, and then into the weekend, skies clear out and we really start to heat up. So by noon, already low 80s for many of us, some of us mid and upper 80s, which is why the further south and west you go, a couple of low 90s, not out of the question today, but most of us will be into the mid to upper 80s for our highs. We overnight tonight, another mild evening out there for us, upper 60s, a few more low 70s, and by noon tomorrow, take a look at these temperatures. By noon tomorrow, already into the upper 80s, which means it's going to be even hotter by the afternoon. We start cruising into the low 90s for most of us. Our heat index values tomorrow for the first day of summer will really help it feel like the first day of summer as we start reaching that 100 to 105 degree range. And that carries on into Saturday. Now, Saturday we start pretty mild again, and we go into the afternoon hours, and temperatures not as hot by noon on Saturday as they are on Friday, but we will still reach the low 90s for most of us. And because of this gusty south wind that we're expecting Saturday, Friday and then into Saturday, it's going to bring in warm, moist air, and that's going to make the heat index values more of us hanging out at 105, maybe a little higher. So our heat risk for today is minor. It's there, but it's minor, not as muggy today. But as we go into Friday, that risk increases to moderate, and by Saturday, we reach our first real major heat risk of the season with those temperatures, again, low 90s, heat index values 105, maybe a little higher. So with that said, we're at this point, most of us, heat-related illnesses are going to be possible with those heat index values. You get a little above that, we start reaching heat exhaustion issues, heat stroke issues as well. So make sure you're staying hydrated. I know a lot of folks, you haven't been able to mow the lawn for the last month, it seems. Probably going to catch up on some of that this weekend. Make sure you're prepared. Make sure you're staying hydrated and taking appropriate precautions. A few clouds for us through the day. 70 by 8 o'clock this morning, 81 by 11. Again, our highs into the upper 80s. Winds will be calm or light and very variable, and again, just a few passing clouds. Those few passing clouds gone by the evening and overnight. We fall back into the low 70s with those south winds 5 to 10. South winds tomorrow start gusting 25, and all they're doing is bringing in that heat and that moisture for us, making it feel a little more uncomfortable. Again, it's first day of summer. Why not, right? Low 90s into Sunday, and we're, of course, getting into that time of the year where late afternoon, early evening, the heating of the day could get a few of those pop-up storms. So just remember, when thunder roars, head indoors. Just pay attention to the sky while you're out next week. Let's check your forecast. Now, here's Elise with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, where you live could impact your recovery after a stroke, according to new research from the University of Illinois, Chicago. The study found having poor access to food or living in a low-income neighborhood led to stroke patients experiencing a worse recovery. Even how strong patients' support network of family and friends played a role in recovery. But the study did not find those factors impacted stroke survival rates. Well, do intermittent fasting diets work? Well, an analysis published by the British Medical Journal showed the method can be just as effective as diets that cut calories when it comes to weight loss. In intermittent fasting, people avoid eating for periods ranging from 16 hours to 2 days, The study also found alternate day fasting was more effective than other types of intermittent fasting. And having a positive life outlook could protect you from memory loss. A study published in the journal Aging and Mental Health that looked at thousands of people over 50 for 16 years and found people who said they had higher levels of psychological well-being had better scores on memory tests. Now, the study's authors say the reasons aren't clear, but it's known that depression and anxiety can impact brain health. That's a look at today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, an Arkansas inmate who eluded authorities for almost 2 weeks enters his plea.
And we've got a hot day ahead of us. We also have some fog in locations. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, Lamar residents gather together to dedicate a basketball court to a longtime supporter.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:32. I'm Elise Snowy. I was coughing. I was clearing my throat, just so you know.
Yeah, that was, you guys probably heard it. Sometimes it's early in the morning. I actually haven't had coffee yet this morning, which is unusual. I realized it just a few minutes ago. I looked at my coffee mug. I haven't filled up a single cup of coffee, so I don't know how I'm functioning right now. Maybe I'm not. I could be drinking.
I can't. I had some coffee and now I'm coughing. I go up on that wall. I inhale a bunch of dust, and the next thing you know, I can't speak properly.
I'm telling you, it happens all of the time. And you know what tomorrow is? It is the first day of summer.
Yes.
And it's going to start to feel a little bit like it today, even more so for tomorrow. We'll get to tomorrow in a minute, but first we got to get through Thursday, and it's the first dry day we've had in a while. Quick look outside downtown Pittsburgh. The sun is shining, which is quite obvious. We also have some patchy fog out there, and we have a cloud or two. Now, honestly, our cameras that we've got, I haven't seen one, but a few clouds through the first portion of our day, not out of the question, but we're not looking at a lot of clouds, which has been pretty evident this morning. And, they had solved the bandwidth issues there for MoDOT, but I think they're having them again because it's either that or there's a glitch in the matrix right now at 20th and Rangeline. But otherwise, the skies look great, so that's fantastic. All right, fog tracker, though, we got to worry about that a little bit. Down McDonald, Benton, Delaware, Ottawa, Craig, Newata, Washington, Labette, Montgomery, even into Chautauqua County, back up toward Fredonia, we have reduced visibilities. Now, of course, around Grand Lake area, significantly reduced, stretching back to the south and east, grow at 1/10 of a mile, so you're practically zero, really. Independence, under a mile. So again, low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you've got them, slow down. Give yourself time to get where you're going. Future track, nothing to show you. A light and variable breeze, and again, a passing cloud or two, but otherwise there is not much going on out there for us today, except for temperatures increasing. Sitting at 65 in Joplin, 67 in Pittsburgh, and across the region, temperatures this morning look like this. Do have some low 60s in our northern counties, but you get further south, start getting mid-upper 60s. Bentonville, the warm spot right now at 70. Highs today cruising into the upper 80s, couple of low 90s, especially out west, not out of the question. A few passing clouds, and otherwise a pretty decent day, just heating up. Now, the heat really increases into the weekend. Temperatures don't climb a lot. We're talking dew point humidity levels, meaning heat index values are climbing into the weekend. Go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. The Southwest Missouri Law Enforcement Agency will soon join a television documentary series. The McDonald County Sheriff's Office will appear on this series on Patrol Live on the Reels channel. The department will make its first appearance on the show this Friday night. That's tomorrow, live from 9 p.m. to midnight. Then again on Saturday night at the same time. The show provides minute-by-minute live analysis as the show documents the everyday work of law enforcement officers on patrol from diverse departments across America. Well, in reference to joining the show, Sheriff Robert Evanson said in part, McDonald County is a great community that backs their law enforcement. Showing what our officers go through will also illustrate to the public how much officers truly care about them and the county, including visitors who know they can come here and have a safe and fun time. The McDonald County Sheriff's Office handles approximately 15,000 calls a year. The basketball courts at Lamar City Park now bear the name of a man who quietly helped bring them to life. Community members gathered for a dedication ceremony to honor Kenny Howard, a local businessman who in the 1970s silently donated the funds to build the courts. In addition to his contribution, Howard was known for his strong support of Lamar High School basketball.
I used to take the kids to Kansas City to the NAIA tournament in my motorhome, and that was a big deal every year, and so that was fun.
The event celebrates Howard's lasting impact on local sports and the youth who benefited from his generosity. Well, a convicted killer and rapist who escaped from a medium security prison in Arkansas is back in custody and appeared before a judge on Tuesday. Grant Harden pleaded not guilty to breaking out of a detention facility in Calico Rock in the north central part of the state. He made his court appearance via Zoom, and authorities say Harden escaped by dressing up as a law enforcement officer last month. He was recaptured 12 days after he broke free. Harden was recently transferred to a Supermax prison in Gold, Arkansas. He is expected to go on trial on the escape charge in November. Repairs to a hangar damaged by a plane crash in Gardner, Kansas continue. At least 2 people were hurt after a plane crashed through the roof of an airport hangar near Kansas City, Missouri. This happened earlier this week at the New Century Airport in Gardner, Kansas. Photos from the scene show the plane partially through the roof. Investigators say a left engine malfunction led to the crash. Authorities said the 2 people on board, the pilot and 1 passenger, were taken to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No one inside the hangar at the time of the crash was hurt. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Gas prices are expected to surge due to the conflict in the Middle East. Plus, the Lakers see a change in ownership as the Buss family sells controlling interest in the popular NBA team. We'll take a look. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, it's the end of an era for the Buss family and the Los Angeles Lakers. After 4 decades, they've agreed to sell controlling interest of the historic NBA team to businessman Mark Walter for $10 billion, making the Lakers the world's most valuable sports franchise. Walter is also the majority owner of baseball's LA Dodgers. Astro AI has recalled nearly 250,000 mini fridges because they can short circuit and catch fire. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says there are at least 70 reports of fridges smoking, melting, or catching fire. 2 fires have caused damage totaling more than $360,000. Owners of the recalled product should stop using them immediately and can contact Astro AI for a free replacement. Well, it's going to cost you more to fill up your tank as gas prices are going up because of conflict in the Middle East. But it's not just regular gas prices that are rising. The price of diesel is expected to soar. That means it will cost companies more to fill up trucks that are transporting goods like groceries. In Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan explains why Americans' wallets could be hit hard this summer.
As the conflict between Israel and Iran escalates, the price of oil is rising, and it means Americans are paying more for gas.
Oil prices last Friday jumped 8%.
Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy says anytime there's a conflict in the Middle East, it creates uncertainty and disrupts global energy markets.
The knee-jerk reaction for the market is oil prices jump.
DeHaan says the national average for a gallon of regular gas could go up between 10 to 25 cents over the next few weeks. As of Wednesday, the national average for a regular gallon of gas was $3.19. That's up 7 cents from last week, according to AAA. Prices could go up even more if Iran retaliates by targeting the Strait of Hormuz. It's a critical waterway separating the Persian Gulf from global oceans. Roughly 21 million barrels of oil are transported through the Strait of Hormuz every day.
That is about 20% of what's consumed globally. So a blockade or military activity in the Strait of Hormuz could be extremely problematic for the price of oil.
Here's another concern. DeHaan says the price of diesel could increase as much as 40 cents over the next 2 weeks. And when diesel prices rise, experts say consumers could see prices across the board go up because it costs companies more to transport goods.
If this situation continues to spiral out of control, you could see businesses that rely on things like crude oil, diesel, jet fuel, and gasoline start to incur a much more increased cost, and that could eventually filter down to motorists.
The good news is DeHaan does not think gas prices will rise as much as they did last summer. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Let's head over now to Chris for a quick look at the forecast.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a foggy start for some of us this morning. Otherwise, it is mild temperatures heating up. And of course, tomorrow, the first day of summer, making it even hotter. We'll have a full look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. All right, it is time now for some Thursday birthdays. And we are going to start with Mazakine Blankenship in Fort Scott, celebrating birthday number 5. Happy birthday.
And in Iola, Nick Bauer turning 18 today. It says here, happy 18th to the one who keeps us all on our toes. Love, Mom and Dad.
And in Joplin, we have Shelby Dreiling celebrating birthday number 26 today. Very happy birthday to you.
And a happy 64th birthday to Gary Sandberg in Columbus. It says, happy birthday from all 6 grandkids.
And we've got Dylan and Lindsay Meisner celebrating their 4th year of wedded bliss. A very happy anniversary to you.
And Andrew Rard celebrating their 15th anniversary. Happy anniversary to Quinn and Kelsey Vins. It says, love the life we built, love your wife.
And our list continues with Lauren Cafton celebrating birthday number 68. A very happy birthday to you.
And a happy 55th anniversary to Tom and Ann Thiel in Columbus.
And last but certainly not least, Zach Davis, also in Columbus, celebrating another year wiser. So a very happy birthday and anniversary to everybody on our list. And of course, if you would like to celebrate with us, there's something simple Elise has for you to do.
Yes, please submit your birthdays and your anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMNewsNow.com. Be sure to include those photos and messages to meet the deadline at the bottom of your screen, and to also include the date of your celebration when submitting as well.
Of course, very important information there. I've got some very important information for anybody commuting this morning. Our dense fog situation has not improved. In fact, it's gotten worse. It's spread over a broader area. So now we're talking big portions, I-44, the Will Rogers Turnpike, I-49 heading south into Arkansas, 166, 400, 69, 60, you name it. We've got some major highways out there that I know a lot of folks travel on that are being impacted by very dense fog. So we've got zero visibility, practically zero visibility in some cases. Bentonville, Grove, and Miami, you're down all very low. But the thing is it's not just those communities. That's why the fog tracker highlights where that fog is across counties. So we're talking near zero visibilities over good portions of McDonald, Benton, Delaware, Ottawa, Craig, Nowata, and even into southern Labette County and southwestern Cherokee County and southeastern Montgomery County. So if you're traveling this morning, we do have reduced visibilities as well. Nevada, Stockton, Iola. But in this zone, if you are heading west into Kansas in the southern half of the state here, or taking the highway down into Oklahoma or south into Arkansas, slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Give yourself time to get where you're going, and watch out for potentially rapidly changing visibilities as well, because we've just got this big area here of very dense fog that's been developing through the morning. So just be cautious this morning. It's better to be late to where you're going than not arrive at all. Now, outside of that, future temperatures. That's what we're showing you today, because other than a couple of clouds today, that's it. Today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. Tomorrow is Friday. Okay, look, it's been a long week already. But today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, you get the idea. It's just going to be hot. It's going to be sunny. By noon today, low 80s already, some even upper 80s possible. The further west you go, the hotter it's going to be. Most of us heading into the upper 80s, but some low 90s for highs, not out of the question. Mild overnight as well, back in the upper 60s, low 70s. And as we roll into Friday, take a look at noon tomorrow, already mid-upper 80s. Now tomorrow, of course, first day of summer, officially starting, I think it was 9:42 p.m. It's the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. And you take these temperatures with us eventually reaching highs into the low 90s, and then you factor in the heat, the humidity that's going to be coming in on our Friday. Is really going to feel like the longest day. It is really going to feel like summer, with heat index values approaching 100 to 105 possible. And unfortunately, the first day of summer kicks off a bit of a stretch of those potentially hazardous heat index values. Saturday, hot again. We're a little slower to warm, but we still are going to go back into the low 90s as we go through Saturday afternoon. Saturday, though, just the way the humidity, everything's going to kind of build in. We're looking at more of us reaching that 105 degree range, maybe a bit higher for heat index values during the peak heating of the day on Saturday. And it stays hot. When we go into Sunday, skies remain clear, temperatures will remain hot, plentiful sunshine, mid-70s by noon, but that does still not stop us from heating up into the afternoon, back into the upper 80s and low 90s. So our heat risk today is minor. Humidity levels, dew point levels, not as high as they're going to start to get rolling into tomorrow and through the weekend. So that's why we start going moderate heat risk for Friday and a major heat risk expected Saturday, with it kind of scaling back just a wee bit Sunday. So I know a lot of folks haven't been able to mow the lawn for the past month and a half, it seems. So if you're doing anything like that this weekend, just stay hydrated. Make sure you're taking appropriate precautions, because we're getting to this stage here where we're going to have to talk about these heat index impacts as we roll through the rest of June. All right, about 70 to start. Few clouds out there through the morning, and 81 by 11 a.m. Grab another look at your forecast, as well as the news you need to know here in just a moment. And when we transition to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., or if you're streaming with us and just stay right here on KOAM+, we're going to see how growing fuel may become the new trend for air travel.
And here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. One juvenile is dead, and authorities are still searching for another after a train pedestrian accident yesterday afternoon in Neosho County, Kansas. It happened at the Trestle Railroad Bridge over the Neosho River south of Erie, Kansas. Sheriff Greg Taylor says two juveniles were walking along the bridge when they were hit by a train. The sheriff says the Neosho River is high, making conditions harder to deal with. He asked the public to steer clear of the area. And Carl Junction's Mayor Mike Moss was back in the chair at Tuesday night's city council meeting, just days after the council voted to suspend him. City Administrator Steve Lawver confirmed the motion to suspend Moss was unlawful under city code. Both the city attorney and outside legal counsel supported Lawver's decision. And the McDonald County Sheriff's Office will appear on the series On Patrol Live on the Reels channel. The department will make its first appearance on the show this Friday night, live from 9 p.m. to midnight, then again on Saturday night at the same time. The show provides live analysis of the everyday work in law enforcement officers across America. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
We've got temperatures climbing today, upper 80s. Humidity levels will be up there, but not significantly so it won't feel as miserable as it's going to heading into the weekend. Few clouds, light and variable breeze out there. Into the evening, clear skies overnight, mild, low 70s, south breeze 5 to 10. South winds tomorrow start gusting to 25, bringing in the heat and bringing in the humidity. So we're talking heat index values tomorrow, 100 to 105. Low 90s continue through the weekend, as do the dangerous heat index values. So again, if you're doing anything outside this weekend, just make sure you're taking appropriate precautions. It's that time of year again. Also, next week, it's that time of year again where we can get some of those isolated pop-up storms in the late afternoon, early evening hours. So do keep an eye on that as well.
All right, and coming up today at noon, we're making lemony frozen iced tea in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOM with CBS Mornings. This morning, 6-time Emmy winner Jean Smart is back on Broadway, this time all on her own. The acclaimed actress stars in Call Me Izzy.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Minnesota scientists are working on growing a clean fuel for airlines.
Oh, and Sarah Runyon from the city of Pittsburgh inviting us to celebrate the city of Pittsburgh for 620 Day. Got to stick with us over on Fox 14 to learn more about that. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.